It is time for PlanetSide 2. Thank you, folks, for waiting so patiently. And my guest, Matt Higbee, the creative director for PlanetSide 2. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you. Good to be here.
We are super psyched to have you guys here. Now, we were just talking while we were setting up. You guys have a whole booth. PlanetSide 2 is running. There's been a battle going for 2 days.
Yeah, it's basically PlanetSide 2 is a persistent online FPS game. So when you win the map, it doesn't load and start a new thing. It's the same battle, keeps going until the end of time.
And you keep fighting because PlanetSide is all about those epic scale matches.
Yep. Epic scale battles, thousands of players competing directly and simultaneously with each other on enormous open world continents. There's no instances, there's no hoops to jump through. You just get right in on these humongous continents and battle it out with hundreds and hundreds of enemies and hundreds of friends.
So when we sign on, let's say we're signing on here to play, and we know that there's an active battle in this area, and we just boom spawn in there and we're part of it?
Yep, that's one of the things that you can do. PlanetSide 2 has a lot of logistics too. There's transport aircraft that can fly you into battles. There's gigantic, we have a Sunderer, which is a 12-man vehicle that we call the Bang Bus that you just roll into battle on. You can get your own aircraft, your own tanks. It's an enormous, humongous open world battle. So we're seeing these guys right now fighting over a small capture point within this amp station. And this particular base is about the size of a standard FPS map, but this is just one capture point out of about 70 on this entire continent.
So, all right, so with the close range combat like this, obviously it's a little, very tense, but how do you feel, how does it then translate? If I know there's 70 others of these instances going on, how do I feel like my actions are sort of having an impact? What tips the scales so that then I know, yeah, it was because I helped take that point. I was part of the team.
Well, each point that you take when you capture a piece of territory, your entire empire, you're fighting for one of 3 major massive empires within PlanetSide 2. Your entire empire gains resources for you owning that. And you gain resources because your empire is gaining resources. You can use those resources to buy new vehicles, upgrade your items, all sorts of extremely deep personalization and customization options are available. And all of that stuff comes from playing and fighting within the game. So you're not only just going and capturing some points so that you get an extra win on your scoreboard, your empire is benefiting from that forever until someone comes and takes it back. That base is yours, and now because you have it, you're going to get better aircraft, you're going to be able to upgrade your weapons faster. You can see here Josh is going through some basic weapons customization. All this stuff is all based on you going, fighting, and earning resources.
And so keeping that base, the incentive is because you will then continue to generate resources from it.
And you don't want the enemy to get the resources, right?
There you go, Hastor, asking a question about incentive to keep maps. That's your answer.
There you go.
Now, there's 3 factions.
3 factions.
Which one are you currently representing and also on the
new
map
conglomerate? The new conglomerate. I'm NC for life. We have a variety of different opinions about which one's the best, but I'm all about the NC. Despite that, I still have to make the game fair, unfortunately. I'd really love to be able to just make the NC win.
Just make it NC OP.
Yeah, now, so we can see here, this is a large open world area, and this is a persistent game, so there's an entire day-night cycle. And we're seeing right now it's nighttime, but depending on how much longer we play for, you're going to see the sun coming up over the horizon here, and atmospheric scattering as the sunbeams come over through the clouds. It's a really gorgeous, amazing world that humongous, non-stop battle takes place on.
And so we're scurrying across the battlefield here, but this looks like a perfect place to be taking a ride.
Oh, yeah.
And so you mentioned a giant bus. You mentioned some airdrop, like troop transport airplanes.
Use the slash commands. Use the slash vehicle commands. Oh, sorry.
He wants you to get in there with some vehicles.
Yeah.
Make it happen, please. All right. So while we jerry up some vehicles for you guys, some folks are asking. You mentioned the word continent, and that's something that's got people's mind sparked. They're really trying to wrap their head around the scale of PlanetSide.
Yeah.
So Gamarun from the UK wants to know just how big is this whole game area?
So this one continent that we're fighting on right now is 64 square kilometers, and it's complete gameplay space everywhere you go, handcrafted. We're trying to make sure that every place you go feels like it's really great to fight in all the different types of gameplay. So if you're using a ground vehicle, there's areas that are going to be really good for ground vehicles. If you're using an air vehicle, there's areas that are going to be really good for that too. So Josh he doesn't have the resources to be able to spawn any vehicles right now, it seems like. So he's going to have to run around and fight.
Get back to work, Josh. All right, now a lot of people, this game has been in beta for a little while.
We're about to start beta, actually. We haven't been in beta yet. We've been doing internal beta testing.
Internal beta testing,
right, yeah.
But an open beta is coming, or an invitation beta?
It's going to be an invitation beta, and I would just encourage anybody who wants to take part, and you absolutely do want to take part, to go to planetside2.com and sign up. You know, this game is completely free to play. Completely free to play. There's no box to buy, there's no subscription fee. We have a membership and we'll have microtransactions, but it's a completely free to play gaming experience. You can jump in and you can do all of the stuff you're seeing here. There's no limitations on what you're going to be able to play. So now we see him running around in a Reaver aircraft, and you can start to see that just beyond the ground-based gameplay, there's an entire layer up above that where people are doing air superiority fighting, they're doing air versus ground fighting. This isn't necessarily Josh's speciality, but he's going to show it off as well as possible.
He's showing us some flight moves. Now, is this? Did you say that vehicle that he just got crashed down in by? Is that more of an air-to-air vehicle, or is that like a ground assault as well?
So you can completely customize everything from the classes in this game to the vehicles, and they have all sorts of different purposes. So if you want to, you can take that Reaver that he was just flying, and you can put air-to-ground rockets on it. And now it's a really good air-to-ground close air support fighter. But you could also put anti-air weapons on it, and it becomes a really, really powerful anti-air fighter.
So it's all about that customization.
You know, a lot of the things in PlanetSide are all about player personalization. So if you're in an outfit, and your outfit, which is our equivalent of guilds, if you're in an outfit and your outfit needs close air support, boom, close air support. And if you're in an outfit and your outfit needs something like snipers today, then, you know, boom, you're set. You just go and you can play as a sniper. But there's all sorts of different configuration options for within each one of those classes. You're not just stuck as, if you choose our equivalent of like an infiltrator class, you're not stuck doing nothing but sniping. You could also go do some frontline spotting, you can place gadgets, so there's all types of different really robust and dynamic customization options available.
Now, are we seeing just the heavy class, or is he in some kind of light exoskeleton?
So he's in a max class, and that is a light exoskeleton. It's still an infantry class, but this is a totally customizable thing too. You can see on his left arm he has a scatter cannon, which is a really good anti-infantry weapon, and he also has a flamethrower on his right arm. If he wanted to, he could get 2 really good anti-vehicle weapons on here, or 2 really good anti-air weapons on here. Totally customize it exactly the way he wants.
And that dude looked like he was trying to be sneaky, but you got spotted, buddy.
I think he's going to get set on fire soon. No, he managed to survive.
Just some good old-fashioned explosions.
That's right.
User BabyMo492 wants to know about differences between factions. Are there abilities or sort of attributes unique to each?
Yeah, so each one of the factions has its own unique vehicles, has its own unique weapons, and basically because of that, they get their own unique play style. The NC who Josh is playing as right now, they're one of the insurgent factions in the game, so they're not really necessarily a professional military force. They reuse a lot of existing industrial equipment and stuff like that for their tanks and exosuits. So what you end up seeing with them is really bulky, slow-moving, not really elegant weapon systems, but they're powerful, they hit hard, and they get the job done.
He's effective, but yeah, elegant is not the word I would use to describe
exactly
this
right.
fella.
Exactly right. And the Terran Republic is really professional, very refined military weapons, and then the Vanu Sovereignty, the last faction, uses a lot of alien technology, so their weapons are more energy-based. They have a lot of lasers and plasma rifles, things like that. But each one of the empires plays completely differently and has their own strengths and weaknesses.
So do I have to choose and be an NC for life, or a Vanu
Sovereignty for life?
Vanu Sovereignty for life?
I wouldn't suggest beginning Vanu Sovereignty for life. Stick with NC and you'll be better off.
Or can I have a couple accounts that play different factions, like different careers within different factions?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is again a free-to-play game, so if you want to sign up for as many accounts as you want, you can. You can also create new characters on different factions if you want to. So there's really no limitation. We want you to be able to get in and try it all. And there's years and years of customization on each one of these roles. If you like air cavalry, there's tons and tons that you can do with that. If you like heavy armor and tanks, there's tons that you can do. You know, hundreds and hundreds of hours of unlocks and customizations that you can do within that.
And now, you mentioned hundreds of hours.
Yeah.
So, you could definitely get real deep into a lot of customization here. Is that also one of the places where the free-to-play model comes into play, where, something that takes you 20 hours to sort of unlock through straight gameplay, you maybe buy an experience booster? Folks are just curious about, it's free to play, which means you can pay for some stuff.
Yes.
What's some of that premium stuff you can pay for?
Well, a lot of the things that you can pay for are cosmetic options. We're really, really ardently not trying to be a pay-to-win game. So anything that affects gameplay, you can earn 100% through gameplay. If you want to get a different weapon, you can earn it by getting resources through fighting in the game. Now you can accelerate that in some cases by using Station Cash, which is our proprietary real money currency within the game. You can use that to be able to, if I just want a shortcut and I don't want to play for 10 hours or whatever to unlock a new weapon, maybe I'll spend Station Cash on that instead. But we're adamantly that you can always unlock anything that affects gameplay through gameplay.
Excellent, and that's crucial to avoiding that dreaded pay-to-win moniker, which people level as an accusation against some free-to-play games.
Exactly. You know, we're making a competitive game, and ensuring that we have a truly competitive landscape is one of the most important things about designing this game.
So when you play, what class do you like? What's your style?
The two things I've been playing a lot lately are the light assault class, which is the class that has some jump jets that let them be really agile and sort of jump behind enemy lines and cause some disruption behind enemy lines.
Oh man, there we saw some infantry getting the effective air, a well-piloted ship on infantry.
Exactly. So you need to have that. You need to have the air superiority before you roll in with a bunch of infantry sometimes. But the other thing that I like to play a lot is the new conglomerate air superiority fighter, the Reaver. I love flying the Reaver. I love it's kind of slow and lumbering, kind of like an A-10, but it packs such a wallop and it's such a blast to fly. You know, that's what I end up playing in most of the playtests. That's what Josh crashed a little bit earlier, by the way. The Reaver.
It's bringing your stats down, man.
I know. Yeah, he's playing on my character. One of the other really cool things about this game is the experience doesn't just stop within the game. We actually have a fully featured website where you can look up not only your own stats, but all your guild stats, your outfit stats, your friend stats. If you're familiar with something like Battlelog in BF3, it's really along those lines. But we've kind of taken it a step further because this is a persistent game. You can do things like look at the status of capture on the map at any given time, see your friends that are online and what they're actually doing in the world. You can spawn straight into them from the website, things like that. So a lot of while you're outside the game experience, you're able to really still connect to it. And we're adding things like iOS and Android apps to let you do the same thing. Our Android app lets you actually use voice over IP to talk to your outfit within the game, talk to your empire within the game, look at the map, all that sort of stuff. And the coolest thing about all this is that we're externalizing APIs for all of this data. So anybody who wants to build their own website for their guild, for their friends, if they want to build their own app for their guild or for their friends, they're going to be able to do that, and they're going to have access to all the same data that we have for our stuff.
That's fantastic, and I think that when you have that kind of openness and put that kind of capability into the hands of the fans, you just fan those flames and let people get really passionate about what they're doing and putting together.
Yeah, we care about community a lot on this game, so being able to give them the tools to be able to build the stuff that they want to build for the game it's awesome.
Excellent, Matt. And so once again, for folks who want to get a taste of PlanetSide 2 for themselves, the best way to do it, PlanetSide2.com, sign up for the beta, or if you happen to be at E3, you lucky fellas can walk right over to our booth, which is right next to the beautiful GameSpot booth, and you know, hop in line, and you'll be playing within a few minutes. And maybe I'll end the show a little early today, so I can get over there myself. No. Matt, thank you so much for coming on, showing off PlanetSide 2. Josh, pretty solid shooting out there. I like that. And you know, it's nice to see that even demoers are not invulnerable in the world of online battles.
That's right. Good job, Josh.
All right, Matt. PlanetSide 2, there you go, folks. And now, before we move on to Need for Speed Most Wanted, we're going to check in with Carlos Rodela.
Are we ready? Okay. Oh, dude, that works. That works. And then I feel richer. All right, hey, we're here, GameSpot's coverage, E3 2012, Carlos Rodela with Snoop Dogg. What's up, man?
Slow motion, Los. What's up with you?
I'm good because I have a new moniker, and it's Los with the $sign, right?
You gotta put the double $sign on the end. It ain't lost, it's low, so they'll know what it means when you put the double $sign on the end.
Right, so that's double money, too, you know. So we're here talking about Tekken Tag Tournament 2, which is a bunch of T's. How'd you get involved with this thing, man?
They reached out to me about doing a song, and I've always been a fan of the game, so, you know, both worlds coming together. I love action. I mean, I make action music. It was a perfect matrimony.
Yeah, and so you've been doing video game stuff before, Def Jam, stuff like that. You pop up everywhere. I was like, oh, you're in a video game again. Do you play fighting games, or did you play when you were growing up, like Mortal Kombat and all that kind of stuff? Or?
You know what? I tried to, but I don't like getting my ass kicked. And something about them fighting games, you gonna get your ass kicked. It's not, you know, my forte to lose, but I do like playing them, you know what I'm saying? And when I do get the hang of it and learn them special moves and whatnot, then I like to brag and boast.
Yeah, when you can own your character, yeah.
But I gotta find the right character that fits me.
Do you have one character in any of like the fighting games you like totally like playing, like as that person?
You know what? Mike Tyson Punch-Out. Mike Tyson. I used to like playing with Mike Tyson back then.
That was a good game.
When he up when he gave you that whoop wop, boom, bam. That was
That was all timing. That whole thing was like a timing.
it was hand-eye contact, and you had to have the timing right with the move. When you let him swing on you,
See, and that's what you were saying. You're like the modern ones, like they're all crazy buttons, right?
exactly.
I'm with you. Los understand.
Thank you.
All right. So what else are you talking about at the show? Have you been to E3 before? Is this their first time?
Yeah, I've been there before. I usually come here and try to get free games, and use my celebrity star power to barge on in EA Sports and let them know, look, I need to get that motherfucking Madden up out of y'all, that college football. I need to get something.
I would do the same thing.
It really works. Yeah, you gotta know who to talk to.
Well, now if I have the Los moniker, maybe I can pull off some free games with that. I don't know. I'm gonna try. So.
On that says something, man. That's a well-known TV show, man. The Spot, man. The Game Spot.
All right. Well, that's pretty much all we wanted to do is talk about the game. And what other things are? What are you in the game? You're like, what's your character?
Player. I'm Snoop Dogg. I'm sitting on the throne. You know what I'm saying? It's a setting where the fight takes place right in front of me at my venue. So it's lowriders in the background, beautiful girls, dogs dancing, and just me having a good time watching people get their ass kicked. That's what we do.
So no unlockable Snoop Dogg as a character. Just throw it out there.
We talking about that, trying to figure out a way to restructure the contract to get me an unlockable character.
You're already like it's your place where they're fighting. Come on.
I mean, I don't do no fighting at my place. You understand me?
All right, man. Thanks for the time, and look forward to Tekken Tag Tournament 2. And just having you call me Los is awesomeness.
Get it together. This is my nephew, Young Los, right here. LO $. Y'all check him out. So quick, so fast.
Thanks, Sam.
Carlos Herdela was the nephew of Snoop Dogg. That is quite a famous uncle to have. Don't you agree, Sean McInnes?
I knew that, but then again, I'm an avid TMZ watcher, so I know about all the celebrity gossip.
Delightful. Folks, Chris Waters here, live on the GameSpot stage at E3. We've got Eddie McCoo here to share our news update. Eddie, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. It's going great. I actually just talked with some VP at Sony, and he told me that The Last Guardian is coming, but it's not going to ship until it's absolutely ready.
But it is a real game.
I asked him why. I asked him
Yeah.
why it wasn't here at E3, and he said they're going to focus on innovation and quality. So you can't argue with that. But
okay, sure. I mean, nice to hear that The Last Guardian totally still a thing. They say they're still going to ship it, so that's good. They're not saying like, we'll see, we'll see. But are you optimistic?
it's hard to tell. It's been in development for a very long time, but he said it's going to ship. So it's going to ship. Just it might be a while.
Well, that's good news for some. What else we got going on?
Sequel to Dead Island was announced.
Really?
Dead Island Riptide.
Oh, Dead Island, not like Dead Archipelago?
No, or not Dead World, or not Dead Lake or something. It's going to be called Dead Island Riptide.
I would have gone with Dead Island to Deader Island.
Deader Island? More Dead Island?
Yeah.
No. Basically, no information on this yet. Coming to consoles and PC. They expect a full reveal this summer, but that's basically it.
This summer, but they just sort of teased, yes, it's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose now, because they're not showing it off really, but it's a thing. It's a thing.
Sean, you played some Dead Island.
I did play a bit of Dead Island, yeah.
What do you hope to see in the sequel?
So that game starts off really awesome. You're like completely open on this beach resort, and you can go anywhere you want, and it feels very much like an open world. Later on into the game, they funnel you into these much more claustrophobic environments, and you don't really get the sense that you can go wherever you want anymore. So as long as they maintain that freedom for the entire game, that could be good stuff.
That would be pleasing.
Yeah.
What if they introduce a surfing mechanic?
A surfing mechanic?
Yeah,
like you
Riptide.
can surf onto a zombie and like it?
Yes.
That sounds good.
Put it in there.
Yeah.
You got time.
None of that
developers.
is confirmed. None of that is.
Free ideas. Free ideas.
Right here. Just throwing them away.
You're welcome.
Eddie Mac, what up, man?
The average age of the average age of the average gamer is now, or the age of the average gamer is now 30.
I need you to say that again, because Ryan McDonald's telling me Need for Speed Most Wanted is almost ready to go. What is the average age of a gamer?
30.
30?
30.
Aren't you 30?
I am at least 30.
So that makes you a pretty average gamer.
I would say I'm an above average gamer, actually.
Then I'm very below average. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, but we still like you, dude. You bring us interesting facts and grill Sony VPs with tough questions.
Yes.
Any more tidbits before we send you off on your way?
Tokyo Jungle. It's coming to Europe. no word on North America yet, but that game is coming out here.
No word on the North American release.
Right. Coming to Europe,
out
though.
at Tokyo Jungle. Sean, if you could give a synopsis of that game, it would be.
It's a game where you play as a tiny, adorable little puppy in the post-apocalypse.
More or less.
That's not mostly a lie. I saw that game at TGS a few years ago, and that's pretty much it. You play as weird animals, like during the apocalypse, I think.
Well, if it's coming out in Europe, maybe we'll see it at Gamescom later this year.
Hopefully.
All right, Eddie. Thanks so much for the news update, and folks, Need for Speed Most Wanted coming up very shortly. Back in a flash. And we're back live on the GameSpot stage at E3. Chris Waters here, and I'm joined on stage by Sean McInnes and Matt Webster from Criterion Games. Matt, welcome to the stage.
Thank you for having me.
How are you enjoying the tire swing seats we've got up here?
You know, they're more comfortable than I thought it would be.
Yeah, they look kind of foreboding.
You know what, though? In the office, we actually have tires.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're just really good as, like, visitor seats. So you can roll them around and you can sit on top of them.
Give
just
you guys some
really big tires
inspiration if you know you need to feel the rubber of the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Get in there and grip it. All right, Need for Speed Most Wanted. Now, Need for Speed, you know, the phrase yearly installments generally carries a negative thing, but with the Need for Speed series, even though it's been a new Need for Speed for over a decade, it's still fresh, still new, because it changes up so often. Now, Most Wanted is a familiar name, but it's been a long time, and you guys are bringing a whole new take on it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so 2010 was our first Need for Speed gig.
Speed, yeah.
Yeah. So, and we always said then that was our take on Hot Pursuit. And when it came back to what was next for us, we looked at the entire history, and it's a really rich history. But we just sort of aced down on one we really loved, and that was Most Wanted, because the premise is just an awesome setup. You know, become the Most Wanted. It's just really exciting.
And after you guys had such great success with the interplay between the police and the fugitives in Hot Pursuit, Most Wanted seems like a natural choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it couldn't be. It had to be our take on Most Wanted. Just like Hot Pursuit was our take on Hot Pursuit, this is our take on Most Wanted.
So set it up. What's your, for folks who are new to Most Wanted, what's the idea here? You're running from the cops? You are the Most Wanted.
Well, actually, the twist is, you race, chase, and explore to become most wanted amongst your friends. So, if people have followed our recent history, we're all about play with friends. You know, things are just better with friends, and so.
And autolog is like
exactly,
the ultimate tool for racing with friends.
Yeah, and that's why we built Autolog, because it's just. I don't know what my shooter rank is. It's like something like 9 million or something, but I know I can beat Hamish. And when I'm beating Hamish, things are really good.
That counts, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Sean has lost many an hour to Autolog challenges.
Poor Hamish doesn't even have a microphone to defend his honor.
He knows it's true.
But he's waving a mean finger right now. But yeah, I've lost many hours to Autolog. I have also lost many hours to Burnout Paradise, which is why I became very excited when I found out this is an open world Need for Speed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that with this game, we're taking everything we know about racing games and open world games, and we're just smashing them together. And so people loved Autolog. We know, we have data like the more people play, the more friends they add. So we know that play with friends is really powerful. But Autolog in Hot Pursuit was just one event at a time. With Most Wanted, it's across the entire game. There's so much more for you to compete on, and tons and tons of variety. That's what we expect an open world game to have. So it's a really rich experience.
Cool. All right. Well, let's take a look at Need for Speed Most Wanted in action here.
Okay, so we have an awful lot. It's an open world, and they're really difficult to demonstrate. So what we've got here is Hamish is going to race and chase. You've got a speed wall there, so people are more familiar with that competition. And we have speed walls, but we're integrating them into the game. This is a real challenge from Alex, the creative director of Criterion. Said, do a race intro, but don't show the cars. So that's like the Suicide Race intro. So, this is Criterion, so there's going to be lots of takedowns. Hamish is here, and you can see him. He's driving a Porsche 991, 911, actually. And you can see just how amazing the cars look. We've just got some awesome lighting technology that's making the cars look sensational. And if you can see, he's racing a race. It's a checkpoint. This is an open world racing, and we don't want to lock. It's kind of against our nature to, if you're racing in an open world, to lock it down with barriers and chevrons like some people do. But we want to treat the player with respect. We know from our experience with open world, as you do, that your players really get to know the city, and so we guide people very loosely with these checkpoints, and then they can choose to use their knowledge of the open world to get ahead of
to circumvent and
so you see this is a race that's going on, but the cops are in this race as well. So Hamish is going off piste. There we go. And then our billboards, you'll be familiar with those. You can see these Visceral and BioWare billboards, and the idea there is to smash those things down and replace them with Criterion ones. That's part of our gameplay that we have loads of discoverables around the world, and we know that distraction gameplay is really valuable. So Hamish goes and finishes the race, but now we blend into, so we do the speed wall compare, then everything you do earns you speed points, and that drives your Most Wanted level against your friends, and now we're blending into a pursuit. So Hamish has come out of the race, and he's got the cops on us, so he needs to shake them off somehow. So this is where the open world really comes into itself. So ducking down the back alley, you can really see how great the cars look down here. We love nice shiny cars, but the cars getting beaten up and scratched and dirty and muddy, and we think these cars look brilliant when they're a bit beat up.
Nice to see that you're not going through the environment unscaled with such adventurous driving, shall we say.
Whoa. Uh-oh. He's going to get busted. Nice. Look at that. He turns a bootlegger. He's in trouble. Oh, is he going to get busted?
Oh, man,
he's going to
so
fight his way out of it.
You can do it, Hamish.
Oh, look at him. He's reversing. Take that loot.
Come on, Hamish.
Oh, it's close. He's fighting. Look at him. He's wriggling.
He's wriggling. I cannot believe he's lasted this long. I think they got him.
Oh, no, I think he's got his extra special skills.
This is the part where the police start shooting at you, I think.
He's out. Okay, let's throw a bootlegger, Hamish. Nice, check that out. That's a really important part of the handling. So the people know Criterion for being able to throw the cars around and drift these cars around. But in an open world, we had to go back to a drawing board with some of our handling. So we kept the Criterion DNA of get the back end of the car out and throw it around, but also be able to make very fast direction changes. Here you can see the car's getting beaten up, getting dirty. He's certainly doing a good job of getting a bit of a kicking from the cops.
Showing that off to us.
Yeah, so
we're grateful.
I think you need a bit of a special finish, Hamish. How are you gonna bust your way out of this one? And now he's probably got about 20 cops.
Helicopter.
Yeah, he's got loads of cops on him. A big jump on the freeway, a nice flourish. That'll do us. Yeah, there we go. Good
Boom.
job.
Well done.
Right into the logo. How convenient.
Oh, it was
before we wrap up here, we got one question coming in from Dulski. Too many consonants, buddy.
Yeah.
Split screen play. That's one of the most popular questions. A lot of people just love to sit down on the couch, play with their friends. Is it in Most Wanted?
It's not. We with an open world game, and the way that we push the technology, it's
Sure.
there's too many compromises that you have to make to be able to render that screen twice. So and actually from our in our experiences, when you go to network games, when you have something like Autolog which allows players to compete synchronously and asynchronously, we think it's just much better to just have that whole screen dedicated to making the game look awesome.
And no shortage of ways to compete against your friends, obviously, in Most
Well,
Wanted.
no, and the great thing about so we'll compete on jumps and your speed through speed cameras. So if you've got a bunch of friends on your friends list who are really good at racing, there are other ways that you can compete against them to be top on your most wanted list. So it's I have there's a guy in the office called the Professor, we call him, and he's just in Hot Pursuit. We just cut him straight from my friends list, right? Because he's just schooling us.
He's just
so
always
now
up there.
now we've got competition across lots of different types of gameplay, and our multiplayer experience is amazing.
Very cool. Well, we'll look forward to hearing more about it as the release of Most Wanted approaches, which is when?
It's at the end of October.
End of October. Man, that's not too long, not too
long
far
to
away
wait.
now. All right, Matt, thank you so much for coming on and showing off Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Thank you for having us.
Looking very slick.
Thank you.
Folks, we are coming up next with more demos shortly. But first, it's Carlos Rodella getting his sing-on in the Nintendo booth.
So, how do we do this? And what's new about Sing? So, historically, with singing games, the singer, the performer will be here, you'll be looking at the back of their head. You might have a couple of people over the mic here. But the rest of the people, there's a real separation. And you're very detached from what's happening. The key thing here is the new hardware and how we've used it. So, we've got the Wii U gamepad. So, on this, we will display the lyrics for either or whoever the performer is, and this frees up the main TV screen here for the rest of us, for the audience. So it's all about the interaction between the two groups. It's about Eva turning around and obviously facing us all here, coming into the space and just everyone interacting together and having fun. So Eva's going to follow the prompts on her screen. We're going to follow the prompts on the main TV screen. We're going to watch the character dancing. We're going to look at the vocal lines that are called out to us as well. And there'll be other prompts such as clap, wave your hands, etc.
Yep. Okay, does anyone have any song preferences? Does anyone want to come up and sing?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, do you want to take this? What do you want here?
Either Call Me Maybe or the Shoop song.
Anyone got any preferences?
Shoop song? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Love it.
I was going to say that, actually. Wait, I'm standing next to you. You're like the dancer, motion capture. Can we stand farther
I'll
apart?
show you up. It's fine.
You're going to show me up. It's impossible.
So everyone
Okay,
needs
so
to
we're
follow
going to watch
what's on the
Michelle, we're
screen.
going to watch the main TV screen.
Oh, so we have to do every one of the moves?
Yeah, we follow that girl.
Oh,
Yeah, and any
jeez.
prompts that come up.
Okay.
Like this. We'll sing that bit.
Oh, his eyes. Okay. That's where it is. Oh, we didn't. Oh, yeah. I don't know which one we do. Wow, he's good. Shoot, shoot, shoot. That's where it is. She's a good singer, people. She's a good. Oh, there it is. Shoot, 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 shoot. That's where it is. That's where it is. Oh, that's the 60s thing. I am bad at this. How come I make it look inappropriate and all of you don't? See, she's dancing now. Whoa, hello. The way he acts. Shoot, 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 shoot. Oh, I forgot the part.
No.
That's where it is. 60s, Austin Powers. Oh, I'm bad at that. Yeah. Good singer, by the way. Good singer. Yeah, much better than me. Okay, we'll wrap it up. This is Sing. Thanks you for watching. I had a great time. I suck at dancing. Bye. Thanks, guys. That was fun.
Carlos, could have sung with a little bit more of your diaphragm next time, maybe support a little better, but what are you going to do? All right, folks. Next demo live here on stage at GameSpot's E3 coverage is Dust: An Elysian Tale, and joining me from Microsoft is Andrew Williams, and from GameSpot, it's Curtis Said. Gentlemen.
I'm just sitting here.
Welcome to the stage.
I'm also sitting here.
You two are both sitting in the tire swings, and we're here to show off Dust. And this is not a game that, you know, comes from a long series or is a shooter or is a real title that a lot of people maybe know about. So Andrew, give us a quick intro to what Dust is all about.
So Dust is a side-scrolling action RPG, and basically it's been in development for the last few years by Humble Hearts, which is essentially one guy. And he's been working on it with Microsoft for the last few years, and it's as you can see, it's kind of like a hand-painted world and hand-animated for Dust, and he's been going through and building out levels, and the core combat's really all about these simple combos that you can use to go through and take out enemies, and really focuses on being able to do the aerial combat. It focuses on being able to do that's called the Dust Storm that you just saw. So right now you're seeing that characters being able to learn how to use that right now. He has a couple sidekicks there. So that's Fidget.
The floating the flying bat fox.
Yeah, is it bat? Is it fox? What exactly are we looking at?
Bat fox, hello.
Bat fox is probably a good description. No. So no, that's his sidekick Fidget, and he also has a sentient sword that gives him advice. And so yeah, so
I could use that in every.
So there it is, right there. You see the sentient sword. So both Fidget and the Sword of Ra help him throughout his quest to uncover who he is.
I feel like sentient objects tend to have like a chip on their shoulder sometimes. What's the personality like with this sword? Like,
well, the sword is pretty razor sharp, so I don't think there's any chips.
I gotcha.
No, the sword tends to be pretty serious.
Yep.
And Fidget tends to not be so serious. Kind of a little bit of comic relief.
There's a good balance there. Now we're seeing some actual combat going on here, and it just looks, the sword effects, the swipe looks really slick. It's really has a satisfying, like, slashing animation to it.
Yeah, so I really love the animations in over here. They're completely fluid. Was this like something that they planned in the beginning to just make it, was the animation the main thing you were going for with this?
So obviously, so Dean's the developer, Dean Dodro, and he when he first showed this off, it actually won Dream Build Play in 2009, and that's how it got the attention of Microsoft.
Nice.
And so when we were looking at it for the first time, it was beautiful back then. At least the backgrounds and even the animations with Dust were already really fantastic. That Dust Storm looked like it did years ago. And so he's obviously, formerly an artist by trade.
Yeah. And so now it's just been a matter of sort of building out worlds, building out a long story, creating new enemies and whatnot, I imagine.
Yeah, during the early stages, we focused a lot on the core combat. So even when we first got it, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but the gameplay, it's a little rough.
Okay.
But there was a core element there that I think that he came up with that just really felt right. And we've been working with him over the last few years, and he's been able to really iterate and make that something that just feels perfect. So you mentioned the fluid animation, that ties into it, and his ability to take both the art side and the programming side and kind of fuse the two. It allows him to really have complete control over making the game.
Now I see that there's a HUD on here, so we can level up, and also there's a money system. So what are the things you get when you level up? Like new energy, new powers?
So yes, the game does have these RPG components. So when you level up, you're able to put these skill gems into it. You get 2 skill gems every time you level up, and that'll allow you to put your points into more action, so you can do your combat. or you can put them into Fidget's magical abilities to, you see all the little dust swirling around, or you can increase your health or defense. So that's just if you're leveling up. If you're, as you're also going throughout the world, there's actually a loot-based system in the game, as well as a deep crafting system. So you'll find materials and be able to put all these different components into the game.
So you got some serious RPG elements sort of coming in here. Now with those sort of deeper systems comes maybe an idea that, like, even though it's a 2D side-scrolling platformer, that this world is pretty expansive.
Yeah, so we like to consider it more of a side-scrolling open world, kind of Metroidvania-esque. So as you unlock new abilities and stuff, you actually can go back to areas, but we wouldn't say this is a Metroidvania, right? It's it has elements that are reminiscent of that I think people really dig.
Chiefly going back to areas with powers that you have since gained in order to access them in a different way, or access new areas.
Yeah, small areas, you know, new little hidden secrets.
Oh, okay, which can help. You know, what kind of stuff are you picking up? Because we're seeing, like Curtis was saying, a lot of XP, which we're putting into character growth here, it looks like.
Yep. So that's the part I was talking about earlier when you level up. So if you hit if you go into the inventory, you can see you'll be able to equip armor, augments, rings, your necklace, and all these actually affect your different attributes on the side. Your luck, your attack power, Fidget's magical abilities. The materials you're allowed to crafting into different things, and that actually can go into augmenting your power as well.
Is that stuff you just like use on the fly in combat to help you out, or is it more of a, I mean, how does that stuff actually implement into gameplay?
So the items itself are all very static, so once you pick and choose and how you customize your attributes, it's depending on whether you're more magic or you want more combat with the melee attacks, those are all very passive. The one thing that's different is that when you pick up, there are certain health objects you drop that you can that you can equip, and then you can use them on the fly by hitting left bumper. And so basically, while you're going through in the thick of things, especially as you're going through the harder difficulties, you can see your life drop really quick, and you can quickly hit left bumper to heal yourself if you happen to have the items equipped.
Sort of plays back into the quick combat, which is, of course, the sort of emphasis on keeping combat going, keeping combos going, underscored by all the magical flying numbers that come out on screen. You get points for your kills, and all the sort of flying white flares that go up into the corner and count your multiplier. Yeah,
so basically every single hit you get, whether it's a projectile little plasma bolt, or it's your sword hitting them, or sword hitting 1, 2, 3 enemies, each of those goes into your multiplier there. And as your multiplier goes up, it's fun to see that, but also the more your multiplier goes up, your hit chain also increases the amount of experience you can get.
Now, I saw we just picked up a mysterious walled chicken. That's a good set of humor within the game. Is the game more funny, or is it more serious in tone?
So I would say the sword, like I said earlier, the sword is very serious, but there's definitely a lot of like comic relief with Fidget, your character. You'll see little, like, you know, that chicken that you picked up. I mean, you can break down walls in the game that are destructible, and that chicken may pop out of it to heal you.
Now we're getting a look at like a mini map up in the top right corner. Is that sort of to help you navigate through the area? And I mean, like this area he's in right now has 3 different exits, not including the one you came in through.
Correct. So the mini map we put in there to make sure basically the player doesn't get lost. We don't want really, like through this area in the demo, it's pretty straightforward. We try to streamline it to just get people to focus on the combat. But in the actual game, when you're going throughout, that plays a huge role in basically keeping you, like telling you where you can go and what you can do.
Oh, the hooded mysterious merchant.
Who's selling cupcakes. That seems a little worrisome to buy random food from pretty much somebody you don't know.
Would you rather buy mysterious chicken from that person, Curtis?
I guess so,
You picked it up off the ground and you were excited by it.
Hey, if it's behind a wall, that means it's preserved.
Behind a wall is how Curtis preserves all of his foodstuffs. His apartment is weird. Sorry, you were saying, Andrew?
Something about cupcakes. I don't remember exactly.
I see a wide variety of enemies. Does each like kind of level have its own set of like bosses and even smaller enemies that you'll fight, or is it kind of like as you keep going, you'll see more powerful versions of what you saw before?
So there's a variety of both. So yes is the answer.
So we'll see more powerful floating mushroom head tentacle beasts?
Yeah, so you're actually seeing an interesting enemy right here. The problem with him is if you go to attack him directly, he'll teleport away from you, and he's actually a summoner, so he'll continue to summon these new enemies as they come out. So you see him show up there with a little swipe that comes down. But what you're seeing here on screen is the character's now launching those projectiles, and those are allowing you to hit him because he won't teleport away from those. So what?
Okay, sorry. So if you only went strictly melee, would you be in a kind of a big problem if you fought this enemy, or do you think it would still be manageable?
So the game, we do some clever things that I won't talk about that basically balance it out. There's still meaningful choice in the game. So the decisions you make will make you more powerful in different directions, whether it's health, whether it's your attack, whether it's your magical abilities, but also whether or not, like as we balance the game doesn't necessarily change to take that into account, but your strategies will need to be employed differently. You might have a little bit of a harder time with him, but it's not going to be something that's impossible. Unless you, of course, put it on the hardest difficulty and you want that type of challenge.
Then you're going to have a real tough time. We got a questions coming in from Vlath, who wants to know, as you change your equipment, do you actually get to change the look of your character? Does that sort of evolve?
That's an excellent question. So, no. The character itself, obviously, the person who Dean, who's been doing this, he's an artist by trade, and he very much set this world and this iconic character that he wanted to stay true to. And so when we were talking about it early on, it was very clear that it was important to keep the character looking the same. And obviously some games leverage the fact that you can change and visualize, and that's really fun for our games. I have a lot of fun in a lot of games for that.
Sure.
But for this game, it's definitely just dust.
So he's got an iconic look. What actually is the story behind this adventure here?
So the basic premise is that you wake up, you have no idea who you are, and you're basically... Yes, actually. So you're not sure who you are.
The cruelest enemy of all.
Exactly. And your sentient sword comes flying out of nowhere. And it's not yours, obviously, but it comes...
That seems like it would be alarming.
Yeah. And so he's kind of surprised by it. The sword starts talking to him, and he's sort of like, what's going on? And then Fidget flies in after him, and he's like, I've been guarding the sword forever. Like, and basically they get into a little bit of chit-chat, and then Dust is like, all right, well, I need to go on a journey to figure out who I am. And there's a lot of bad things happening in the world. And Dust actually ties into a little bit of that. And so throughout the story, you're going to kind of uncover your past while figuring out what's going on in the future.
All right. And all the while, little Fidget Bat Lady Fox is going to be helping you out.
So this is the end of the demo right here.
All right. Well, so this is a demo. It's on Xbox 360. Folks want to know if it's on PC as well. Is that going to be available?
So Dust and Elysian Tale, it comes out on Xbox 360. It's part of the Summer of Arcade program, so it'll be out sometime this summer. There's no price or date announced, and it's exclusive to Xbox 360. No current PC titles in development.
All right, Andrew. Well, thanks so much for bringing by Dust and Elysian Tale. Those animations are looking really slick, and looking forward to seeing that out in the Summer of Arcade. All right, folks, queued up next, we've got Devil May Cry. We'll be back in just a second with some more hacky slashy. And we're back on stage. It's Devil May Cry time, and joining me, I've got Alex from Capcom, Wout from Capcom, and Tom McShay from GameSpot. Gentlemen, Devil May Cry, this a classic name, but a new look.
Very new look, actually. Much different than any previous Devil May Cry visually and tonally, so we're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, great trailer released a little bit earlier, and are we going to see the game? We're going to see the game in action right now. Let's start it up because people are dying to see this happen. But yeah, Dante is looking quite young.
Yeah,
Looking
well,
chipper.
it's sort of going back to the roots. It's a rebirth of the franchise, so we want to do a young Dante, show how he came to be the character we've all known and loved.
And we saw he's a real cocky guy. Like, he's very, very confident in his abilities and real disdain for demons. Devil May Cry, for those who don't know, a long-running series focused on intense, like, third-person action combat and killing nasty, nasty demons.
Nasty demons. And more of the same this time around. He'll be killing tons of nasty demons, doing it with a more slightly updated tone, and few new tricks on the weapons. He's still going to have the sword, still going to have the ebony and ivory. A lot of continuity with people already seen in the game.
All right, so where are we at right now? Give us some background for the demo.
So we're actually embarking on the first boss battle of the game. So we're about a third in at this point.
All
and
right.
Dante has found the location of a demon hideout where they are making a rather nasty ingredient to put into a mass-produced soft drink.
Ooh. Yeah, now that was something that struck me about the trailer you guys released was a video of someone wearing a mask and talking about the evils of surveillance, media bias, banking, sort of channeling almost an Occupy kind of mentality in terms of like raging against the establishments of the world.
Yeah.
And is Dante's motivation just because like demons run those establishments? Is that it?
Yeah, Dante is primarily in it for the demons, not so much for the social change. Yeah.
But, you know, also protecting the drinking water, like he's
a little bit. If he can do a little good while killing demons, why not?
Oh, good lord. Now this is sort of one of the visually striking things you see is the element of transformation, not just within the environment, but within the demons, and yuck.
Yeah, that's the secret ingredient. Yeah, the whole thing is about transformation. The world is not what it appears in all things. So demons come out of actual people that the public perceives as being upstanding members of society. You just saw the world transform. That's a facet of what we're calling malice, which is the idea of the world being alive, can react to you. Sometimes it's just for effect. Other times it creates gameplay possibilities by changing the environment and forcing Dante to react to it.
Okay. And so this is the Dante talks smack to the demon section.
Gotta have a little bit of that.
Yeah, he definitely is enjoying himself, it seems. Tom, what do you make of this horrible, gooey beast?
It deserves to die, so I'm excited to see it be killed. So I guess the big question I think that I have and many people have is Ninja Theory is the developer, and they are known for their cinematic expertise, but not their combat proficiency. That's not usually their biggest strength. So it's interesting that DMC, which is super technical, like how is this transition taking place? How smooth is it?
Well, actually, the thing is we brought in a strike team of Capcom Japan guys, including the lead creative on Devil May Cry 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
So it was all about getting those guys the knowledge of how to make these deep immersive fighting games. I mean, with Heavenly Sword and Slave, to some degree, they'd shown that they had a latent ability to get it. So that fused with the narrative, their narrative strength, storytelling, and cinematic cutscenes. You know, it took a year of working with those guys in pre-production to get the Capcom wisdom, as it's called, over to them. But I think we effected a successful transfer.
So you're hoping ultimately that this is going to have the amazing combat that the series is known for, combined with like
I don't think
the storytelling. This is like the dream.
Yes, no, it's chocolate and the peanut butter. It's
wow.
Totally,
okay.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Now we've got questions coming in from fans all over the place, so I'm going to interject those real quick here for you. Amr Mosin wants to know about other familiar characters. Obviously, Dante's sort of gotten a makeover, but he's a very familiar dude.
Yeah.
Any other characters coming in here that you can mention?
I can't mention right now. We'll be talking about the story later.
So that is a yes,
that is not a yes.
But we just can't tell you. Oh, wow. He's got some WWE style moves there.
A little bit. Well, that's the thing. We wanted Dante not to be quite as polished. He's young. He's a little unpolished, a little rough.
He goes in for that two-footed jump kick.
Yeah. So she's attached to these tubes, and the whole point is a three-stage fight. So he's got to pull her off these tubes and then pull her down from the main one that pumps the poison into the virility. And to do that, he'll have to use a couple of new mechanics based on Dante's angel and demon nature. You'll see that Wout just angel lifted to grapple across the area to switch platforms. They also can use that to pull enemy or pull yourself up to enemies, reach areas in the world that otherwise are inaccessible.
Okay.
So it has combat and traversal.
So it can lock on to foes as well as, you know, these environmental hotspots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can lock on to any foe that's available to it at any time. There are no vulnerability windows or anything.
You want to get up close and personal.
Exactly. So the combat
horrible abominations.
So you want to get the face, which Wout is currently not. There you go. Nope.
Robertal419 is wondering about Dante's abilities as you go throughout the game. Any kind of upgrades or evolution along that line?
Yeah, I mean, like previous DMCs, you can upgrade your abilities, you can upgrade the weapons, you can buy combos, so it's very consistent with what fans have known from previous DMCs.
Excellent.
One thing's worth noting, there's a lot of hidden depth in the combat, so we're very, very, very into the idea of making sure that for the hardcore, they're getting the experience they wanted from a DMC game, while not walling out casual players, so we have a sort of excessively skill-based input. So for all the players who want their depth, they want jump canceling, they want enemy step, they want to do these sorts of things that DMC players show and do on YouTube all the time. That's totally there for you, but we haven't made it so over-the-top difficult that it disincentivizes casual players from trying it.
Nice.
This is not going to be like DMC3 then, which was, I mean, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it was very close.
It was impossible for me until the special edition came out. Yeah, that was hard. So we've probably dialed it back a tick from there in terms of its overall, not soul-crushingly difficult.
We have a question from Halo X PS3, whose question is, makes no sense that he is young. To which I say, dude, he's fighting like a giant larva worm. What kind of sense do you need this game to make? Come on. Video games, buddy. That's all the sense you need.
Yeah.
Do you really want an old Dante, like using his...
With a walker?
His walker to hit the guy?
Yeah, with a cane.
He's got like a mace instead of a gun.
Pop Geritol.
You know that he would be
You
real.
know, I think I just wrote the sequel to this game. I think we can go with that. Old Dante.
Devil May Age.
You know that dude would be able to wield a walker to deadly effect.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Probably would. We could probably have Ninja come up with some cool walker mechanics.
All right, Alex. I presume that do we think this boss's death is imminent here? How close are we to?
Hey, Wout, throw it into turbo mode. Okay.
Kick it up. Let's see some turbo.
Wout can pick up the pace. You can drop in a counter. There you go. So what he did
He's
there
only
is,
going at about a C pace right now.
Yeah,
Lordy.
I don't think Wout's going to triple S this one, unfortunately.
That's
We're
all
going
right,
to have a stern talking to after the show.
No, we want to see some, want to spend our time here, but oh gosh. Punching it right in the face.
Like, how early is this boss? Is this just like a normal looking boss, or is this like a real freaky one?
Well, that's the thing. All our bosses are pretty epic. So this is, if anything, it's sort of the shallower end of the pool. We have some pretty
nasty.
awesome.
Are there any plans for plushies of these bosses?
You know, our licensing department comes up with some pretty nifty ideas. Maybe a poison plushie that uttered profanities might go over incredibly well.
Just throwing it out there.
We'll 10% finder's fee on the idea.
You have an audience of one.
All right, Alex. Well, I think we're going to have to wrap up before we see the grisly demise of this horrid beast. But Devil May Cry's got a lot of people excited. When are they going to be able to get their hands on it?
January 15th, 2013. PS3, Xbox 360.
Very good, Alex. Thank you so much for bringing Devil May Cry by. Looking very good.
Great.
All right, folks, quick break, and then we're back with Gears of War Judgment. folks, it is time for Gears of War Judgment. We've been seeing it across the way here at the Microsoft booth all day, and now the time has come. We've got Cliff Bleszinski on stage for Gears of War Judgment. Cliff, welcome.
What's up? Great to see
you.
You
got a
man.
fan base. They followed you over here. They're really excited for it.
Yeah, we got a whole crew over there lined up. It's awesome. They're getting free T-shirts and everything for seeing the demo.
Fantastic. And now you folks at home are going to get to see the demo. What are we showing off here today, Cliff, for Gears of War?
Honestly, it's Gears of War Judgment. We have a new game mode that's called Overrun. It's kind of a mashup of Horde mode meets Beast mode. It's kind of a class-based multiplayer. Whereas my mantra for the studio lately is play your way. Previous Gears of War games, the best way to win is to roll up at somebody, shotgun them in the face. Now you can actually play as a medic, heal your teammates. You can play as an engineer and put out a deployable turret. You can play as a scout, climb up to a tower and snipe. It's basically play your way.
So it's your Locust and its cogs fighting each other, but previously, you know, Beast mode, Locusts are kind of class-based, based on the nature of the different species, but now the cogs have classes.
Yeah, we're taking that whole idea that we started with Beast mode, and we're going deeper on it, right? We kind of touched upon it a little bit with Beast, a little bit of Horde mode, and we really want to kind of blow it out. And I think when you look at the initial layer of it, the game is really easy to kind of jump in. I'm going to go kill some fools. I'm going to toss some stuff out. But we're finding strategy upon strategy that's just emerging upon our playtest in the playtest lab. I mean, you can play as a ticker, have your friend play as a grenadier, throw out a grenade for you to eat, then you'll explode twice as big, and then he can kick you over a fence in order to just get over the kind of blocking objectives throughout there. There's a lot of great strategies coming out of there.
God, ticker kicking. You said the magic word.
You got ticker
Thank
kicking.
you so much.
You got corpsers coming in there. You got maulers protecting tickers. It's evil creatures working together to overcome those pesky humans, and you and your friends as humans using teamwork to overcome the monsters.
And so, yeah, the human teamwork, you sort of mentioned that before. We've got different medics. Actually, let's talk about what we're seeing right here first. This is the campaign trailer.
Yeah, this is the main campaign debut trailer, and there's no dubstep, I have to let you guys know.
Oh, damn, I was looking forward to that.
Do you want us to add it? No, we'll add it later.
Yeah, whoa. Because there's clearly not enough dubstep at E3, right, guys?
No,
Jeez.
it needs more dubstep.
So this is the story of Damon Baird's fall. We wanted to do a prequel, but we didn't want to do just the straight Emergence Day, because if you have Emergence Day, there's no chainsaw, right? You need a little bit of time for the chainsaw.
You need that innovation that
Exactly. They're like, oh crap, the Locust skin is really strong. We probably need something to penetrate this. Then we thought about doing the Pendulum Wars, but there's no monsters in the Pendulum Wars. So we decided to do something a few months after Emergence Day that focused on Baird, who's a character who didn't get a lot of actual storytelling time in Gears of War 3.
Yeah, he's kind of a comic relief guy, or in some cases sarcastic relief.
Well, yeah, I mean, we found that when we did surveys as far as what characters people like most in Gears, Baird was one of the favorites. It was like Baird and Anya were the favorite too, right? Who'd have thought?
I mean, he's my favorite. He's like the smart guy. He's got the goggles. He does the beacons and everything.
Well, he's the smart, sarcastic asshole. And maybe there's an entire internet full of those. So he's kind of resonating for people, so not surprisingly.
I definitely identify with that.
Well, it's really fun and cool to see these guys younger, because it's 15 years before the events of Gears. So you see Baird and Cole not quite as like grizzled.
They're lean.
They're lean, mean. They got fresh faces. They're not quite as jaded, but they're still up for some killing.
Yeah, Cole's got that like fresh off the thrash ball field.
Yeah, he's got that fresh fade going on right there. And you know, we have some new characters. Paddock, who's one of the UIR guys. All of our fans love to know about the UIR, who are the other opposing side in the Pendulum Wars. We have Sophia Hendrick, who's kind of a red-haired Onyx Guard cadet out of Halvo Bay, and just some fresh blood as well as some classic characters that people know and love.
And so a robust campaign in store for Gears of War Judgment.
Yeah, the
campaign, co-op across the board,
4-player co-op across the board.
Yeah.
The campaign, I like to believe in this generation that in order to try and expand our audience, we've actually softened games too much. You know, and I think there's a reason why gamers love Demon's Souls and Dark Souls. It's like, when's the last time a game actually asked something of you? So I'm going to warn you, like, unless you're playing on casual, you're going to die. You're going to die a lot in this game.
Really?
I'm playing hardcore.
Bringing it a little bit?
I'm playing hardcore 4-player co-op, and I'm dying a few times in each combat scenario. We have this great dynamic spawn system that basically ensures that no two ways that you play the game are the same. You never know what batches of enemies you're going to get. And so I believe that if you make a game that's replayable, it's a better game even if you never replay it once.
Because it's still got that dynamism in there.
Yeah, you're really, as a gamer, the experience is malleable to you. You know, you're kind of crafting your own story of what happened in the game, as opposed to what the industry's become, which is hallway cutscene, tower falls. I have the same exact experience as you had, which we were partly guilty of, to be fair.
You know,
but
you did your hallway cutscene time.
Oh yeah, but let's swing it back around. Let's get back to big open combat bowls that you solve your way.
And now what we're seeing right now is some B-roll from the multiplayer footage. So we saw Sarah P destroying some barricades.
Yeah, we're seeing a Cantus riding a blood mount. You can be a blood mount steed. I can actually climb on top of you and heal you while I'm riding you. Yeah, in the battle, right? It's just one of the many examples of how the units work together in this mode.
Is that like press Y to yeah, or is that you over the headset improvising?
That's just you pretty much just like, you know, hitting them with the cattle prod, right?
Okay.
Right into battle, right?
I wouldn't put it past you guys to put that onto a button prompt.
That's actually a good idea.
Move it, you get a little speed boost if you're.
But I mean, if you still want to be a soldier, you can, because you can play as the young, sexy Cole, and he's got a boom shot in Overrun, right? And the thing is, he can throw out ammo, and what he does is he'll use his boom shot, unleash a can of whoop ass, and then refuel his own ammo or refuel for his teammates. And you know, the way that we've operated is what we've done is we've streamlined the controls in this game. You know, Gears 1, 2, and 3 was great for what it was, but you know, that D-pad on the 360 there, it's not the best thing ever. It's still a little clunky, right?
It's got a little bit of mush
it's a little mushy, and it's one of those things we decided to put weapon swap on Y now, so you definitively know you're swapping to your next weapon. We also just said, you know what, the pace of the game is so intense now, and the campaign is so tough that we needed the more streamlined controls. So now we have offhanded grenades, which is a first for the franchise. So you hit left bumper, you can just sling a grenade into a bunch of enemies. You can still hold the left bumper and get the arc.
Sure.
But I mean, it's a grenade. How precise do you have to be, right?
I saw one of those locusts with a spinning boom shield. Have you changed up a lot of the weapons now?
Yeah, well, I mean, for the Mauler, he was one of those enemies that, you know, he's really, really slow. And so we wanted to make sure that he has a ton of health when you're taking on the human cog, and that he has multiple ways to take them out. So he has this giant explosive maul, but he has this shield. His shield not only reflects bullets, so it's a little I am rubber, you're a glue type setup, but he can actually use that spinning shield to just grind the humans into a pulp as well.
That sounds tasty.
There's a lot of strategies in the game, man. What we'll do is we'll sometimes ticker rush at the beginning of a match of Overrun, and we'll chew on the barbs on the left side, and then one guy will peel over to the right and quietly work on the fortifications on the right. Or my friends will go in with all the big creatures on the left side, and I'll just take an explosive ticker and open up the right and just go right in for the generator. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways to pan out. I'm actually hoping this can kind of be played competitively. We're really finding that there's a lot of deep strategies that are coming out of this kind of Excel spreadsheet grid of the different ways that you can play the game.
Hoping to get some MLG folks up in there?
I mean, Sundance, great guy. You know, we were working on some Gears 3 stuff. Who knows if that'll even happen? It's a really tough process. I mean, if you build a great game, then hopefully they'll play it competitively.
And that's what you guys are doing with Gears of War Judgment. It sounds like you're aiming for something a little quicker, a little deadlier. And any more, before we head out, any more retro surprises in store? Retro Lancer was a big hit in Gears of War 3.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really talking about the weapons and the loadout right now so much as we're focusing on the classes and kind of what this game is. The fundamental takeaway from this game is that, you know, we wanted to do a prequel, but we wanted to do it back to basics, make the Locust scary again, and make it hard, and make the players have sweaty palms. If you're not sweating when you're done playing this game, we haven't done our job.
Well, I imagine a whole bunch of these dudes out here are sweating right now.
Well, that's the smell of E3. It just smells like man, right?
And you've gotten them all frothing with your stirring speeches about Gears of War Judgment.
They're sweating and they're frothing and they're salivating. It's just bodily fluids everywhere,
and
man.
I shall release you unto them.
Thank you. I'll just crowd surf now.
Thanks for coming on. Gears of War Judgment coming out 2013?
Early 2013-ish. We'll wait and see on the date.
All right, fantastic. Cliff,
Cool.
thank you so much. Gears of War
Thanks for having
Judgment. Folks, stay tuned for our last demo of the day. We've got another shooter coming up, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, in just a moment.
Tournament. Hey Cliff, how's it going? Snoop Dogg's going to be in Tekken Tag Tournament 2. He's got his own level and song, this is the lead story, Chris. You will not mock me for this. This narrowly edged out Sonic All-Stars Racing from Sega, Danica Patrick going to be in there racing alongside Sonic and Jet Set Radio Dude and all your favorites. That's not the only awesome celebrity news that we've got though. Eddie?
In addition to that, the new Star Trek game is going to feature the voices of Zachary Quino and Chris Pine, which someone has told me before that I look like Chris Pine, but I don't believe it.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Like at all.
No.
I think they were griefing you. But we were griefing people with celebrity news. We've also got actual news. Nintendo let off the press conferences this morning. Well, they capped off the press conferences. Pikmin 3 was their big game that they announced. Shigeru Miyamoto came out, he teased it at E3's past, and now he's actually he showed it off. New rock Pikmin, looks really cool. That and Lego City Undercover. that game just looks kind of like this awesome Grand Theft Auto sort of Lego game. So it's like charming but gritty and just like
Traveler's Tales is working on it, so you know that they have
they've got that stuff dialed in, and that's easily like the most interesting things of the day for me. What about you?
I was actually pretty impressed with the Sing game. You know, it's I know you're looking at me like that, but it's it's from Freestyle. It's the people who made DJ Hero, so they have I think they have the chops because I enjoyed a DJ Hero, but singing, it's a different thing. But I guess it depends on the songs they choose. I know they let off with the demo of Call Me Maybe, so that's maybe not so
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I know you're big on like multiplayer gaming and social things and having friends.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm totally like not that way, which is why the one of the coolest things was a single player game I saw is Platinum Games P100. It actually led off our stage show here this afternoon. That thing just looks awesome. Inaba and Kamiya, I believe, are involved in it. It's like a superhero game. It actually reminded me a little bit of Pikmin.
It did. It definitely bore a resemblance to that, and the fact that Platinum Games is on it is definitely going to help it. But it's nothing, right? It's nothing that they've done before, or nothing similar.
No, I mean Platinum Games, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is their big game this show.
Mad World.
Mad World, yeah. They did a
Vanquish.
4-game deal with Sega that had Vanquish, which was amazing, Bayonetta, which was awesome, and then Infinite Space, which a lot of people kind of forget about, or Infinite Line. I think the name might have changed from Japan to here.
Right.
But that was just a pretty cool game all in all. More news, Microsoft. They're expanding their program for a $99 Xbox nationwide. It's not just Microsoft stores anymore. What's the details of it?
It's coming to all Best Buy stores in the country and select GameStop stores. Microsoft said call your local store if you want to find out more details. So
it's not just like a price cut on the 360. There is a catch. When you pay for it, $100, you have to sign up for a 2-year commitment of Xbox Live Gold. It comes out to a little bit more money in the long run, like $450 versus $410 or something if you just got an Xbox and paid for the Live separately.
It's kind of like a cell phone deal.
Yeah, and expect to see a lot more of this with the next generation of consoles, actually. I'd be shocked if they didn't prefer to offer you a reasonable price and then make you sign up for a long-term commitment. But I hear we're ready to go on the stage, so that'll do it for us. Back to you, Chris.
What better way to end our awesome cavalcade of E3 shooters today than with Call of Duty Black Ops 2? No better way is the answer. Black Ops 2 time. Mark from Treyarch is here joining me on stage. Mark, super excited to have you here, man.
It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, dude. Black Ops 2, you guys closed out the Microsoft press conference yesterday.
And now we're closing this out today.
And now you're closing out the GameSpot stage show day one.
That's awesome.
You guys are big news around here. How's the reaction been for Black Ops 2?
It's been great. Really, the fans have just, they really responded to all the new things that the team's been working on, and we couldn't be more happy with that.
Now, the demo yesterday showed a lot of some LA destruction, trying to protect the French president. Saw a little flying, saw a little shooting, a lot of shooting, to be honest. But we're seeing something different today, and it's something I haven't even seen yet. I'm very excited. Can you give some folks a preview?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 will have that signature cinematic, intense gameplay like you saw with Los Angeles. A lot of new gameplay elements there. But today what I've brought for you is Singapore, and this is a Strike Force level. It's a totally new kind of level inside of Call of Duty. It's something we've wanted to do for a while, and we've been prototyping this, and we got it for Black Ops 2, and I'm really excited about it. So let me just tell you a little bit about what exactly a Strike Force level is.
New type of level within Call of Duty. I mean, that has my interest piqued right there because, for all the excitement, for all the bombastic situations you get yourself into with Call of Duty and the variety, people have come to expect certain things and certain pieces that put together, expertly paced, but you're bringing something new into the mix.
Yeah, we wanted to shake up the formula. We wanted to create some new kind of gameplay inside the campaign, and I think it's something that fans of the franchise, they've had so many great experiences, but I think they want it too. So for the first time with Strike Force levels, it does a couple things. One is we're introducing non-linearity into the campaign.
Oh, what?
So that means at the highest level, you're going to have your story arc, your narrative story arc, and at some point during the campaign, you are going to get a choice of which levels you want to take over, which Strike Force levels you want to take on. So JSOC will come before you. You have your Black Ops team. They'll lay out the proxy wars that are going on in the year 2025, and you'll have a choice of missions. In this case, we're going to choose Singapore, and we're going to drop you in. But that's just where it starts, really. So choice of mission. Why don't we get this going, Jason? Let's get it fired up right now.
Singapore.
We're going to do an insertion here in Singapore. So this is myself and my Black Ops team. We're going in.
Code name Kraken. Good choice.
All right. And immediately you'll notice some different things on the HUD. We wanted to introduce sandbox gameplay. You could take on, so it's not just about, you got some objectives out there, A, B, and C. You can take them on in whatever order you want, but you can also play this in any way that you want. So he just moved to an Overwatch mode. This is a tactical mode that you can play in. You could play the whole level in this way. You could play this level like you played every Call of Duty level, gun in hand, boots on the ground, and fight through. He's chosen to look at this from a strategic point of view. He's laying down some waypoints for his team. And then he's going to pick which one of these guys he wants to take over. So he could take over any of his member of his team, anyone on his team.
So you can pick any one, dudes, so there's not a dude waiting back in the parking lot looking at his wrist like, hey guys, you should go over to A.
Yeah, we've got the AI. We've worked a lot on the AI. So when you go into Overwatch mode, you're literally controlling the AI from that Overwatch mode, right? Again, he can do this at any point in time. Jason, back out to Overwatch mode just to show him that you can do this at will. You can play this game however you want.
And there we see the guy who just was moving to cover.
That's right. And all he has to do is it's Call of Duty. It is simple to be able to move around and do this. So he's highlighting the different characters on the ground. He can then move in, and they each have different weapons, right? You got the LNGs. You have various weaponry on the battlefield. And the thing about the year 2025 is we have worked to create some great new weaponry and some fun new weaponry that you're going to fight against and that you're going to be able to play with. So in this case,
the weaponry that the bad guys have too.
And the bad guys have it too at this point. I mean, like everybody, it's out there in the world. Drones, that technology, it's out there. And yesterday in Los Angeles, we showed you controlling quads so that they could be your squad mates as you were moving in. Well, in this level, when they come online, you're going to be able to control them. So, all right, so there's a claw. He cannot penetrate that claw with regular bullets. That's a cognitive land assault weapon. It has 2 BP of armor. He needs to stand back there, or he can take over one of these other drones that has heavier caliber weaponry. So he's driving now. He's decided to take that over, and he can now take on that claw. He's faster. He's more agile.
A drone is a good anti-drone. It's a different kind. So the quad, they're just talking different species of
That's right.
Here.
Yeah, I mean, that claw can take down an entire army, right? It has heavy caliber weaponry. It has, it could really take down a fairly large army. But this is a lot more. You'll notice even the interface, the audio changes. He's just decided. Okay, so he was for a second there. He was inside of a claw, but he could move around now. I think it's really important to note, like, one of the goals with this was accessible but deep. We needed to make sure that this is accessible. People can play it. If you know how to play Call of Duty, you can ease into this level. Like I said, you can play it like you play pretty much any other Call of Duty level, boots on the ground, gun in hand. But I think that's just scratching the surface. And I think for Call of Duty fans who've been playing our games for a long time, this is going to be a great new form of gameplay. Whether you win or lose this campaign, this mission, that also affects our branching storyline. It affects the Cold War narrative arc that's going on in the year 2025. Because again, the fiction behind this is these are the hot spots. So right here, he's just inhabited one of the quads. Now he's flying around the mission and taking out bad guys.
Now we've got, and so you notice people are asking about the prompts at the bottom of the screen. Is that sort of how you switch between the various drones you have built on the battlefield?
So that's your soldiers. That's your claw, that's your quad, that's your automated sentry drone. Those are the numbers that you have with them. That's your D-pad. When you see the countdown timer, so the numbers on there, that's how many of them you have. Now, you could lose this mission because you could just run out of reinforcements and not take over your objectives in time.
Or run out of time.
Take over the claw at this point, right? Why don't we go down in there? You can see, like, here he goes. Now he's just going to start. I mean, it's really powerful. He can launch grenades from it. They're really powerful. He can just, again, but it's, you know, it's a trade-off. It's a balanced trade-off. It's a heavy piece of machinery.
Very slow.
But it's very slow,
Yep.
right?
So it's now this is this sort of is reminiscent of like a multiplayer contest, right? Because you've got the different points that you're trying to capture, and you're sort of you're like marshaling your team. Are Strike Forces maps playable in multiplayer?
There are certain maps that are really good multiplayer experiences, so you'll definitely see some of that. But this is absolutely a campaign
And
level.
it's right in the campaign.
This is absolutely in the campaign. This is a unique style of gameplay. Again, I think one of the things about this nonlinear gameplay narrative is you'll have a choice, which means that you may not choose and may not experience, depending upon how the outcomes of these maps, you may not experience all these missions.
Now, we've got this sort of playing as different guys, like hopping out and playing as drones, brings into focus the fact that Call of Duty has always been, thrived on having multiple protagonists throughout a campaign. And Cool AD is wondering about the main character, like what kind of character thread are you following through the campaign in Black Ops 2?
So the character thread that I think people are gonna see in Black Ops 2 is they're gonna see this villain, Raul Menendez. You're gonna see in the 1980s, the late Cold War, in the Cold War during the 1980s, you're gonna see the origins of our villain, and you're gonna see this character arc into the year 2025, just what he's capable of. Now, this is a direct sequel to Black Ops, which means Mason, Woods, Hudson, they're back. When you're experiencing that Cold War during the 80s, that's when you're playing with.
That's those guys.
That's when you're playing with the guys that you played with Black Ops. In the year 2025, you're playing as David Mason, the son of Alex Mason, and you experience
Following
that
in the family business.
Absolutely. You're on the hunt in that year 2025, but you are, you're basically through Woods' eyes. He's telling you about how you and your father first met the villain of Black Ops, and it's just this epic story narrative. Each of these characters have a story arc with branching storylines. Different things can happen to these folks depending upon how you play the game and the choices that you make.
So are you trying to encourage multiple replays here to experience all that the Black Ops 2 campaign has to offer? I mean, that's the only way to do it,
Hey,
right?
yeah, I mean, if you want to experience everything, you will have to play through it multiple times. Now, certain choices, there are certain choices that are big choices, there are smaller choices, there are gameplay choices. Like I said, you might actually, and these levels are unique in that you can actually win them or lose them, and it will affect the narrative arc of the Cold War. And you can still progress.
Yeah.
So that in itself is different as well. So yeah, there's a lot of new stuff. If you like Call of Duty campaigns, but you're looking for some new experiences and you want some new gameplay, some variety, that's what we wanted to create, and that's what we're doing here.
I think you're addressing a lot of the sort of issues people have with the Call of Duty campaign is the linearity, the fact that it sort of feels very familiar when you play it. And, it's
at the same time, we know players like that.
That's
right.
True.
So how do you do that?
It is a proven fact.
We have, inside the core game, you got that cinematic gameplay, you got that epic experience. We're going to have some branching storylines. There's going to be choice, but then you got these missions where we change the recipe up entirely for you.
Now, Mark, I got to say, the TV has been telling our demoer here for minutes to press X to call in an airstrike. Are we going to see an airstrike?
He could run it. Would you like to do it? End this right now. He's good. So this cargo ship, it's not leaving the docks here. It's not leaving Singapore.
No, I don't think so.
All right.
And there it's taken care of.
Yeah. So
nice. And look at this. You got a swarm. Now, is this something that as you secure points, you get access to more assets to sort of play around with?
You have 3 objective points that you're supposed to take on here in this level, and he can take them on in any way that he wants, basically. But he will eventually run out of reinforcements, and that's eventually how you lose.
Okay.
That's
Yes,
how you
that's
lose.
how you would lose.
That's how you lose. So. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate
All right,
you.
very cool.
Good play this year.
So that's Strike Force,
There he goes.
and these are different mission types that are within the Black Ops 2 campaign.
Absolutely.
Of course, we can't let you off the stage without just briefly touching on the other stuff people love about Call of Duty: competitive multiplayer.
Absolutely. It's in our DNA. We are going to, the team, the multiplayer team, that whole multiplayer setting is in the year 2025. the weapons, the balancing, the attachments, the gameplay modes. I can't wait to tell you guys all about it. It's amazing stuff. They're really doing great work.
All right, got to check another box because you guys are Treyarch. Zombies.
Of course.
There are zombies in the future. No.
Of course. Yeah.
No. That's a great thing.
Absolutely. There are zombies in Black Ops 2. It's the biggest world we've ever created with it. There's more gameplay. If you're a Zombies fan, you're gonna love it. There's just the team is there's a there's a versus mode you'll be able to play. There's a lot of great new stuff for Zombies fans.
Mm-hmm. And of course, this is personal for me because I love to fly a jet in a shooter. We saw some jet flying in the LA level during the Microsoft press conference demo yesterday. Is there more of that in store? More jets?
That was a jet that you can fly and shoot. You're not just a passenger shooting. You're flying it. You're shooting it. It's Call of Duty. You pick up the controls. If you know how to play Call of Duty, you can fly the most advanced jets on the planet.
You're really puffing me up here, Mark. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to make bad decisions when I leave the show floor here today. LAX is not that far away.
Well, you know what you need to do is make your way back to make your way back to our booth, and we'll get you behind the controller.
That sounds good to me.
All right.
Mark, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, you guys launching this fall. You got a date, don't you?
Yeah, November 13th. We're coming out.
November 13th.
We're excited about it.
Very exciting. And
yeah.
Thank you so much for having this on the show. Great way to close out the day. Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Right.
Mark,
thank you so much. All right.
All right, cheers. Now we've got one more check-in with Carlos Verdela on the show floor. Nintendo, perhaps? Or Namco? Couldn't quite hear it. Guess we'll find out.
Hey everybody, Carlos Verdela here, back for GameSpot's coverage of E3 2012. We're in Nintendo, and you can tell because there's like belly sounds and stars and craziness over here. Look at this place. This has a Star of David, it seems like, and there's a Triforce inside it. I don't know what that means, but that is Nintendo Land. That's craziness, and we're gonna go back and check that out later in a later session because there's a lot of adventuring and dancing and adventuring. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a U-shaped tour of the Wii U. Do you like that? Do you like that joke? Is that good? All right, let's go. So by the way, this is a Wii panorama view that we saw last year, I think, a little bit of, where you kind of look around with the Wii controller and see, a different kind of perspective. No real practical game use for this yet, but it seems really cool. It's so cool that it's not even started. Double deck tour. Oh, that seems interesting. Let's look at that for a second because that seems weird. So that's that view, but then if you can see behind her, it actually looks a little different if we're allowed to do that. Oh, she's moving with you. Yeah, so basically you see a different view of the same picture, and you can actually control the zooming and stuff like that. That's cool. All right, we don't know why that happens or what that's for, but it's interesting. All right, over here is Batman Arkham City, which we heard about this morning, Armored Edition. This seems just really cool, the fact that you could do actual utility belt stuff like on your Wii U. So there's that. It's the same game you love, Batman Arkham City, but with Wii U capabilities. You can see you can actually use the Wii U tablet and make the things that you would normally do with a controller Wii U-ified. What? That is something I just made up. All right, let's go. Sweet Day. I don't know what that is. This is very interesting. Zombie U. Very excited about this. This is exciting. You see there's other cameras here because they're excited as well. So this is a zombie adventure game, survival horror, and you get to use your Wii U tablet to do sniper stuff and do scanning of the enemies, wiggling it to get rid of people, and it seems interesting. The inventory switching is the thing that I think I would like the best in a zombie game. Kind of switch the inventory right there. Although he's using the stylus, which seems crazy. Does that work? The stylus? Wow, I didn't know that was a thing. All right, zombies, awesome. We're moving. There's a ninja. If you remember, that was the tech demo that they did last year, right? And now it's an actual game. It's ninjas. Go figure. Assassin's Creed 3. What's interesting about Assassin's Creed 3 is that it's on the Wii U. Isn't that crazy? Because that means they can handle it. It can finally handle it, people. This is awesome. Nintendo is in the it's in the big leagues now. That's Assassin's Creed 3. Let's go to Rayman Legends. I mean, we could do Assassin's Creed 3, but you know, you're going to see it a million times this show. Rayman Legends seems like it uses some really cool Wii U mechanics, and Rayman's awesome. You guys, you played this, right? This is a good game. And they're using some tilt control stuff. Wii U, awesome. Okay, let's go. We have to get through a lot. It's hard to do. Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge, also Wii U-ified. I'm going to coin that term, and that's going to be a term. All right, let's keep moving. It's so much to see. Well, we're at the Wii Fit U area, where someone is actually, they're down on the ground, people. They're Wii fitting it up. I feel that I would suck at this game because my stomach muscles are not strong. But that being said, I actually like the idea of playing a game and then also getting in shape. So I might do this. Although that means I have to buy a Wii U. All right, well, that's a quick look. Should we keep moving or? Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to go around this way, which is hard. Let's go back this way. Behind you. Oh, Pikmin 3, let's go over here. Pikmin 3, everybody's talking about Pikmin 3. Let's talk about it. Pikmin 3. Oh, here's one. So this is the Pikmin that you know and love, but is also Wii U-ified. No one's going to say that except me. Pikmin with the Wii U. Now, you notice he's using the nunchuck and the regular controller, the Wii controller, so you could do that as well. But there are special capabilities with the actual Wii U tablet that you can kind of strategize more. So that's what that is. All right, that's Pikmin 3. We can go to Trine 2 is a thing. It's really crowded. I'm going to try to get to Trine 2 if we can pull that off. Let's see if that happens. It's Trine 2 Director's Cut. Oh, just in here a little bit. Nice. So Trine is a great game, a fabulous game, and to have it on the Wii U is a cool thing, especially if it's a director's cut. I would like more Trine, please. And yeah, it's Trine. It's very golden, isn't it? It's a golden Trine to Trine. Man, my puns are getting worse. All right, let's go. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here in a minute. Let's get out of this area. You know what? It's basically the same thing. The last thing I'm gonna talk about is we're gonna talk about Scribblenauts soon. That's something that's way over there we can't get to. But Scribblenauts, that unlimited thing sounds amazing to me. We're gonna talk with the developers for that very soon, an upcoming segment, maybe tomorrow. But look for that. And until then, back to the stage.
And we are back. Our awesome demo cavalcade has come to a close. And now we got a little wrap-up with one familiar face and one who, unless you've been watching the bonus stage today, you probably haven't seen all day. It's John Davison.
Lots of people have been watching the bonus stage.
Yeah, and I'm really intrigued to hear about it. And Carlos Rodella.
Hey, what's going on?
We've been seeing plenty of you, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm all over the place, I guess.
Yeah.
John,
I'm tired.
Yeah. But for folks who have been captivated by the endless awesomeness of this stage, tell us about your stage.
There was a similarly endless stream of awesome.
I missed it all.
So much awesome.
So did I.
All right, so what is the bonus stage all about?
So over here is predominantly, so you got the news and you got the product demos, games. So before E3, we talked a lot about how a lot of cool conversations happen in the hallways and the bathrooms and in the bar and like all the stuff that people would get a kick out of hearing. But when someone's demoing a game, they can't talk about that stuff. So we're like, well, let's find a place where we can put those conversations and point a camera at it. So on the other side of the booth, there's 2 orange couches. We're just getting interesting combinations of people, and we're just letting them talk about games and E3. And so today was actually unintentionally a bit of an old school GameSpot love fest.
Really?
Because I had, well, among many guests on the bonus stage, I had Jeff Gerstmann and Ryan Davis from Giant Bomb.
And then after that, I had Greg Kasavin and Rich Gallup.
Oh,
and
man.
Rich Gallup announced his new game studio on the bonus stage. Did anybody announce a new game studio on your stage, Chris?
Oh, this
no,
is like a
no
stage
new game
rivalry.
studio announced. Did get some Last of Us confirmation about the relationship between the two main characters. They're not related.
They're not related.
No.
That's big news.
That's because everyone assumed they were father and daughter, right?
I kind of did,
Yeah.
But no, not the case.
Okay.
But Rich Gallup's new game studio, because
Yeah.
obviously 38
So a
Studios
bunch of
is
guys
no
that were
more.
working on Copernicus are some very smart people. There's like 8 of them. They're starting their own thing, and he talked about that.
Cool.
We had the guy, the lead guy from Game Globe, the browser-based game-making tool. He was on talking about his thing. That thing looks awesome, by the way. Like you
Game
say,
Globe?
Yeah, you say that name and say it's a browser-based game-making thing, and you can almost hear the collective eye roll from people. But it looks incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds very cool. Now, Carlos, your travels have been far and wide and well documented.
Yeah, I guess so.
I want to hear about.
Some I'm afraid
I want to
of.
hear about one thing in particular.
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
There's
That's
lots of
the
things that
one.
happened to me today. Snoop Dogg was by far the most interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, so Snoop Dogg is super cool. I don't know if people have met him
really?
much. Yeah. No, I mean, of course. But I mean, he's like totally chill, and like his handlers were really, really like nervous, and he was like, they were like checking what I was gonna ask, and I just hung out with him, and it just was totally cool, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got named a moniker. He gave me a new moniker. I am now Los.
Los?
With a $sign.
Oh.
Yeah. Although he said
how
$2
else would you
signs, but I'm not
spell
sure
it?
what you
That's,
do. LO $sign. That's it. That's me.
So do we have to call you that now?
You have to, I think. I think I might switch my Twitter name. That's drastic. That's not going to happen. But still.
It's excessive. Come on.
He is super cool. And by the way, I found out he actually likes not like the mashup button fighting games. He likes more like the strategic stuff. Because he was talking about Mike Tyson, like, oh, you know how you could do that one thing and you had to learn the moves to beat the guy. And I was like, yeah, I like that kind of fighting style better, too. We're the same person, Snoop Dogg.
So oh my God. Is legit.
Yeah, he's legit, and I think we're related now. Because he called me nephew, right?
He did call you nephew, yes. So you have to call call him Uncle Snoop.
I'm going to call him on the phone later, probably.
Nice.
That is not going to happen.
All right, well, we've talked about today. Let's talk about tomorrow. So you are, again, off on magical adventures around the show floor.
Just sweating the whole time, perspiring, and yeah. Tomorrow we're doing a lot more Nintendo. We did a little bit of Nintendo today, but I want to get into Fantasyland. I want to get using the Wii U controller more. And then we're doing more Sony stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, yeah. What are you doing? Who are you having on? Are you having me on? I gotta come on
You're
your
going to
little
come on some
couch.
of it. I have the guys
You're
from the
getting
movie.
Los?
I'm
You're
getting
getting-
Los.
oh, dude.
The Los is coming on at some point.
It's happening.
Assuming we can
That's a
we can
coup.
sync up schedules.
You gotta talk to my handlers. Yeah, I got new ones now.
Aren't I your handler technically?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm both.
Who we got on? We got the guys from Noobs, the movie that's coming out. So
that's
Jason
right.
Mewes, who you may know from Jay and Silent Bob. Hopefully, as long as he can come off set, Casper Van Dien.
Oh, fantastic.
So maybe I'll ask him what he thinks about Halo, because apparently he has a thing or two to say about that.
Oh, he's got opinions.
Josh Gomez, who you might not know the name, but he was the little guy with the beard in Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
He's coming on. We're doing some stuff with him.
Nice.
And then we have a mix of people. Jason Rubin's coming on to talk about his new gig at THQ. I'm trying to think of other things. Garnet and Jeff from Weekend Confirmed are coming on. We have a mix of people from outlets and developers and executives and celebrities, and it's a real mix-up tomorrow.
That
so
sounds...
5 hours tomorrow.
5 hours.
I need someone to tag out with.
That's adorable, John. We'll be here for 8 hours.
I know.
Demoing
Yeah, talk to me
all
when
day
you-
long.
I did mine all the way through without anyone relieving me.
You didn't subcontract out for Irish labor? Come on.
17
It's the
segments or
American
something.
way.
Come on. I think we're comparable. That's super cool, though. And I am going to be talking to Totally Rad Show tomorrow, I think. The
Oh,
Totally
sweet.
Rad Show, yeah.
All
I want to interview them, see what they've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should come on when Jeff and Garnet come on.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
That
Groovy.
sounds delightful. Well, today we got most of our
You
shooters
should come on
out
our
of the
stuff.
way.
We should tag out. You should come over there tomorrow, and we can do.
It's like interchangeable.
Sure, maybe I'll
we
come
can
on.
cross play.
No, here we go. I'll come on during God of War Ascension. I want to stay here for Lost Planet 3, Crisis 3. Kind of
Now we're doing we're doing live scheduling.
Dishonored. Yeah, I should
Are you-
probably. I really should be around here for Dance Central 3 and XCOM Enemy Unknown. Maybe like right
So
at the
nothing
beginning.
much going on
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Well, I guess the last segment maybe. Borderlands 2. No,
Oh.
sorry.
Wow. I don't think he wants to hang out with you is what's going
I don't
on.
think
It's
it-
like a cold
It's not
shoulder.
that I don't want to hang out with him. It's that I want to hang out with awesome games more.
Can I come?
Whoa.
Can I come and hang out with
That's
you at the end of the day
you
again?
Can come in, yes.
All right.
We'll tag you on the
And then I
want
want to tag you to do my thing. Just
No,
like
wait-
one
wait.
segment, like make you go talk to somebody.
It's not my thing, dude.
No, it's not
I
your thing.
sit.
But by the end of tomorrow, he
I
will have
have no
talked to
pants
nearly
on.
I don't know how to
everybody.
stand
I
and do
don't
this.
wear
at this thing.
anything.
Yeah. No, you do this well. Good job.
So you're closing out tomorrow with Borderlands 2, right?
Yes.
I'm very
And
excited. I need to. Yeah, that's
The bookends are fantastic. We're kicking off tomorrow, 10 a.m., The Elder Scrolls Online.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yes. So be sure to check back here then. We start at the main stage here at 10 a.m. The bonus stage starts at
noon.
And of course, all through the night, there's going to be GameSpot content posting, giving you the best of E3 2012. Thank you so much for joining me here. John Carlos, thanks for stopping in for a quick chat. And folks, we will see you tomorrow for day 2 of E3 2012. Have a good night.